Welcome back to Tech Rants. My name is Q, and today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on this whole thing about longer software support when it comes to these devices. So, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit. I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts and opinion. If you guys enjoyed the content, please leave a like on the video, comment down below what you guys think about this and any other videos. Subscribe to become part of the family. Share your friends, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And if you really want to support the channel, feel free to make a donation via Cash App at dollar sign the Tech Rant Show. That's dollar sign TheTechrantsshow. Donations are never required, but are greatly appreciated. So, Google was the first one to kind of break the internet. Actually, it was another company. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they were the first to kind of make the mainstream announcement. Okay, 7 years of software updates. Just outright. Now, here's the thing: we all know that Apple has been supporting their devices for at least 5 years. Okay, right now iOS 17.4.1 is out, and devices all the way as far back as the iPhone XR, which was released in 2018, can get these update. Can get this update. Now, the rumor is that for iOS 18, all of the same devices will be compatible as well. So Apple has had a track record of some of the longest software support. I have never seen an iPhone supported for more than 7 years. And I'm not saying that that's not going to happen because Apple's processors are getting better and better, so it definitely can happen. But I just ain't seen it. But of course, what do I know? I just buy almost every phone that I say I'm not going to buy, so whatever. But anyway, so the thing is, Google was the first one to say it. So we really thought that Google was going to do 5 years of software updates, which is unheard of in the Android world. Um, we thought they were going to do it with the Pixel 6, but they did not. It's 3 years of software updates, 5 years of security patches. But with the Pixel 8, they update. They did it. So for a while, Samsung was actually leading the pack. Samsung said, no, we're going to do 4 years of software updates, 5 years of security patches. Well, Google said, nope. Okay, here we go. 7 years of software and security updates. So then Samsung said, okay, 7 years of software and security updates. Now, I have not used the Pixel 8, so I cannot really give my full opinion on the Tensor processors. But from what I have seen, the Snapdragon processors that are in the Galaxies are way better than the Tensor processors. But the Tensor processor is made to be a AI, AI chip. It's not really made for performance. I mean, it does what it needs to do. It doesn't really matter, but the on paper and the way it performs, the Snapdragon processors are way better. So here's my thing. So right now, and one of the questions that was asked when Samsung was going to do it, and a lot of people are wondering as well as Google as well, could they eventually ornately go back and make that available? So could Google go back and pre-post that to the Pixel 7 series? And could Samsung do it for the S23 series? I don't see Samsung doing it for the S23 series. I very well could be wrong. And Google could do it for the Pixel 7 series, but I don't think they do. I don't think they will. So right now, I have the S23 right here. It's S23 on the right, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max right here on the left. Now, like I said, there's no need to talk about um, software support with Apple. There's no need to really have that discussion because that's just that's what Apple is known for. All right, but I will say this: the Galaxy S23, it is currently running. Right now, it's running One UI 6.1. At least that's what mine is running at the moment, and I haven't had any major issues. Um, so basically, um, OnePlus actually had kind of at first I didn't quite understand the analogies that they were trying to make, and I can't quite remember it, verbatim. But basically, what the CEO of OnePlus said, he said, "Well, just this whole thing about 7 years of software updates, you're getting, your sandwich is still good, but the feeling you're trying to tell me that the feeling is not going to be molded or something like that. Something about a stale sandwich. And basically, what he was trying to say is, even though the body may look good and the software is going to be up to date, is everything under the hood going to be able to handle that? Is it still going to keep it feeling like it was fresh since day one? And that is a good question. Because they're building these phones, yeah, they're on paper, because the iPhone 14, 15 Pro Max, they raised their prices to 1199. The S24 Ultra raised its price to 1299. And then Google, they raised the price of the Pixel 8 Pro to 999 and the 8 to 699. So they're trying to justify these increases. So OneWave is saying, okay, now we're going to support these for 7 years. Now, one of the reasons why they're doing that is because a lot of people are keeping their phones a lot longer. Okay, I get that. But in reality, how are these phones going to hold up? Because unless a phone like the iPhone, it holds up because it's optimized. Now, you definitely going to notice some slowdowns. You're going to have to get a battery replacement, maybe a couple things like that. But for the most part, iPhones hold on pretty well. Their performance, they're pretty good about 3, 4, 5 years down the line. My friend still has an XS Max, and he has a 10s Max, and he is pushing. It does everything he needs to do. It does TikTok. It does all these things, and he doesn't have any issues. So iPhones. That's, like I said, that's not even a conversation. But is the S24 Ultra and the S24 and the Pixel 8 and all them, are they going to? What is the performance going to be like after those 5 years? Like I think after year four, we might start seeing some problems. Unless these chips are really optimized. Maybe even year five we might be okay, but year six, year seven, I don't know. I think that is a good question. So my thing is, you want to support these devices for longer than what you're saying. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to optimize these chips a lot better. So I think what we should do here, I think that all these manufacturers, well, the ones that are promising all these major software updates, Google and Samsung, they need to optimize their chips better. And, you know, I think Google can do it better because they control Android. So I think they can optimize the Tensor chip. If not, shout out to Adam from Tech Odyssey. He made a good point. I didn't watch the whole video, but basically he was saying, okay, Google, you really haven't had too much success with the Tensor chip. Now you kind of gained some fan recognition because you added all these features, you changed design, things like that. But as far as these Tensor chips, they cannot add up to the Snapdragon chip, and that's preventing you from competing in a market, where Apple and Samsung dominates. If you can get to a point to where you can compete with the Snapdragon chips and the Apple chips and things like that, then we have a different conversation. A lot of people don't want to hear this, but honestly, I believe if Huawei was allowed to do things that they were trying to do before, and it's not a politics channel, so everybody, but some people are gonna get triggered by this. I gotta say it. If the government did not ban Huawei, I think Huawei would definitely be in the top five selling spots for global sales because the Huawei chips, I've used a couple Huawei devices, before they were banned or whatever, and the Huawei chips were amazing. They were, they just whatever. They were that. It's really no way to explain it. Those Huawei phones, the chips that Huawei were make the Kirin chips that they were making in house, they could have competed with the Apple Silicon chips. And it sounds kind of crazy, but they could have. And I think that's what the U.S. was afraid of. Samsung and Apple dominate. So now we're not really too worried about Motorola. We're not too really worried about Google. If you walk into a carrier store, you walk into a T-Mobile store, AT&T store, Apple has the biggest display. Then you have Samsung, and then Google's like here and hiding in the corner, and then you got all these budget phones with the AT&T logo on the back and Motorola, and stuff like that. You go buy an accessory at Walmart or something like that. They have a lot of iPhone accessories, and you may find some, find the big boy Samsung accessories, but you really won't find too many Google accessories at Walmart. At least not in the stores. So, with that being said, though, like I said, um, so right now Google cannot compete. Yeah, their sales have grown or whatever, but I think they can optimize the Tensor chip to possibly support those 7 years of software updates. Qualcomm can definitely do it as well. Qualcomm, because at first, Samsung was like, well, we can't support, these longer software updates because, well, the chip only allows X amount, da 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 da, and it's only supported for so many years. So obviously, Qualcomm definitely can improve these chips, which they have. I mean, I'm using the S23 still, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, wonderful processor. Not really noticing any issues on the One UI 6.1 update. So these chips can be supported quite extensively, but it's up to these manufacturers to decide that's what they want to do in order to make their claims of software updates. 7 years of software support for good. And I think, like I said, I think that's pretty good. I don't see nothing wrong with it, especially if most people are financing their devices to the carrier. I don't see nothing wrong with that, but the problem that could become is how good is the phone going to hold up over time? Now, is that most people, we could go by the argument, most people are not going to keep their phones for 7 years, but there are, people are holding on to their phones longer, and I'm not mad because the improvements that we're getting from these devices is just like, okay, what are we doing? Um, so yeah, at this point, it's just like, I don't know. Um, the there's no more innovation. So, definitely that's the main reason why people are holding on to the devices, and it's really not worth it. I mean, if I'm getting the latest updates and my phone still runs fast, I mean, my 14 Pro Max runs almost as like it did when it's day one. Now, the battery life is not, it's my battery has depleted, and I'm probably in the next 3 months I'm gonna probably have to replace the battery. And then once that happens, I see this phone continuing to thrive for another few years. I mean, it'll be paid off soon, but yeah, I mean, S23, it's my work phone. It does what I need it to do. Don't have any major issues. It's my work slash backup phone. No major issues. So, like I said, but I don't want to really like to include Apple in this conversation because they are the originators of long software support and better optimization. So, I believe if Google wants to, they could probably, tweak the Tensor chip. If not, just say, you know what, we messed up. We're going back to Qualcomm. Now that Qualcomm can support Google's mission, I think maybe that's what they should do. Or I've been saying this before. How about Google and Samsung just say, forget about it. Let's just come together and they just make a fabulous phone together. They could take over the world. I mean, that's I don't know. This is my personal opinion, but anyway, I digress. So manufacturers, Qualcomm, Google, optimize your chips to be able to support these 7 years of updates. If not, then there's going to be some people that keep their phones for 7 years and be like, well, I kept it for 7 years. Yeah, I got all the updates, but this phone ain't worth shit. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Let me know how long have you had onto your phone. What is the longest you would hold onto a phone? Let's have a debate in the comment section below. If this is helpful, informative, entertaining in any way, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, all the good stuff. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Please be safe. Please be blessed. Cash App information is the beginning of the video and will be in the description box below. Talk to you guys later. Peace.